Hello, investors. Welcome to episode 7 of our special series Journey to 10 Crore by Vishal Wealth View. Starting today's episode by quote of the day. The quote is: do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. अगर आपने ये कोट सुना है तो let me know who said this in the comments below and I'll reply. Along with this, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, and if you don't like this content, please give me recommendation in the comments so that I can improve this content. So today is one of the days where our net worth dropped as the markets were pretty red and pretty bloody. We lost almost 1.3 lakhs in our stock portfolio, and there was a similar story in the mutual fund portfolio as well. So, nothing to panic. We are still going to keep up with the same philosophy. We are not going to sell anything. We'll start building more position in these ETFs as the price is low and we get more buying opportunity and some amount of capital freed up. So, in today's episode, I want to talk a little bit about the mindset of an investor, a person who wants to create long term wealth. And I want to start this session by first reapproaching the definition of wealth. What is true wealth? So, whatever I'm going to talk about, this is a philosophy that I think I have heard adopted from most of the investors like Buffett, Munger, even Lynch, or some of the Indian investors. And again, I've added my grains or sprinkles of masala on top of this to create this presentation and philosophy. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So what is wealth? Is is it just the money in a bank account, stocks, property that you own? What's the point of all this financial success if we lack the physical and mental capacity to enjoy it? In its most holistic sense, it's about well being, being able to enjoy life without limitation of poor health, whether it's taking a trip, playing with the kids, or simply waking up energized. Our health allows us to live fully. So, what are things that you can do on a daily basis so that you make strides in this goal? I recommend starting with a habit of having 30-minute daily workout. It's a practical step to maintain the wealth which is health. One of the best investments you can make in yourself is doing exercise. And trust me, boon boon se sagar banta hai. The more you exercise, the fitter you'll get. Now, most people after starting to work out forget how important it is to even maintain your diet, focusing on eating healthy. Now, even though you're working out, you're eating healthy, you still need to take cheat days. Trust me, you have to enjoy, you have to make sure whatever work you're putting it, you're getting something in return. It's okay to treat yourself every now and then with pizza or butter chicken masala, or even skipping a workout and allowing indulgence to keep you from feeling restricted. Just don't let the cheat days turn into cheat months. That's what matters. Consistency is more important than perfection. However, prolonged period of neglect, whether it's month of unhealthy eating or skipping workouts, will start to chip away at the wealth of health you've built up. So, in conclusion, the greatest wealth you can build is your health with just 30 minutes of exercise a day. A balanced diet and a focus on moderation, you can secure that wealth for life. Now, is relationships, social life that you have a part of your wealth? Most people hold a different opinion on this, but I think this is one aspect that should be included. Because here's my take: doesn't matter how much money you have, if you're sad, you'll just be a sad person with money. But if you're happy, you can use money to be happier. That's how the world works. So You have to focus on building human connections to enrich your lives. They'll bring joy, they'll provide support to you during tough times, and it will help you grow. So, what are things that you can do to have good relationships and social life in your life? Starting with the simplest, try to be an honest person. It helps you create deeper and more authentic connection. It's a first step. People are drawn to those who are truthful, transparent, and sincere. When you're honest, people will feel safe around you. Next, you have to make sure you're choosing your connections wisely. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. On the other hand, avoid any toxic relationships or friendships that drain your energy and hinder your progress. Connections compound. The right people in your life will open doors for you, they'll broaden your horizon and introduce you to more opportunities. And trust me, that's where all of these connections and networking will help you. Life is short, make it meaningful. It's easy to get caught up on all these business, career goals, your responsibilities, but in the end, you only get one life. So make the most out of it. Don't forget to live it. You never know if someone you're meeting for the last time, and that's why try to cherish all the moments you have with the people you love. Okay, now let's talk about money. What is net worth? So, this is the part where we talk about actual bread and butter of our channel, which is money, and how can we be wealthy in terms of money. So, what is wealth? I think the easiest way to calculate wealth is net worth in terms of financial aspects. It is all the assets you own subtracted by all the liabilities you have. Everything that's generating money for you is your asset. Your stocks, the rental property you own, the farmland you own. Everything that puts money in your pocket is an asset. Anything that takes money away from you is a liability. A car, a liability. A house, a liability. But I would not consider it a liability that you should not take. It's a liability that makes your life better and the life of the people you care about better. So sometimes it makes sense to take liabilities, but that's how you calculate net worth. The second aspect of net worth is growth. How do you grow your total net worth? And this is where this interesting concept comes into play, which is called compounding. So let me start with a story first. So on the bottom half of the screen, you see a chessboard. It has 64 squares. So once upon a time, there was this magician who came to a city, and he showed some magic tricks to the king. The king was impressed, and he decided that you can ask for whatever you want and I'll give it to you. And the magician humbly said, "My king, I don't ask for much. Just put a grain of rice on the first square of the chessboard and just keep on doubling the rice on the next square." That means if you have one rice grain on the first square of the chessboard, you keep two rice grain on the second, four on the third, eight on the fourth. Now, at the end, the king realized what a mistake he made because he was not able to collect all the rice grain that were needed for the last square. That's 2 to the power 64. So let me try to simplify it for you. So just consider the first 8 squares. You started with one rice grain, and by the end of that particular row, you have 128 rice grains. Imagine starting with a lakh rupees and ending up with almost 1 crore 28 lakh rupees. You just have to double it 8 times and it happens. That's the magic. So, to grow the net worth, the simple rule that you need to understand is whatever you're making minus whatever you're spending, that's your investment. And how quickly you can grow these investment, how quickly you can compound this will define your net worth. The only two things that you can control in this formula is the time, because you are the one who will decide when you want to start investing, and second, how much money you save. So let's consider an example that you decided to save and invest in equities. In that case, whatever you're saving will be multiplied by 1 plus, let's just say 12% interest, which is the average equity interest, and then you compound it for multiple years. Now, the person who is starting early has a huge advantage here. A huge advantage here. And this is something that you should understand. The late you are at the party, the more action you are going to miss. So, what are the things that you can do if you are a person who is between 18 to 25? How can you get started with your investing journey? So, I'll recommend these steps. If you're 18 to 25, the first thing that you need to do is focus on how can you be the top 10% income earners of this country. Try to find that skill that can put you in top 10% income earners. There are not too many professions for that. And whatever skill set you choose, be the best. Be the top 1% in that profession. Your goal is to earn money at this point. It's to increase your value. It's to increase or making sure the market is paying you the amount that puts you in the top 10% income earners of this country. To do that, you might have to become a learning machine. You have to try out new things. You have to fail on new things. But that's how the world works. Spend time on experiences and building relationships. This is the only time when you'll have ample amount of time on your hand that you can spend time with folks who you are going to build relationships with, and these are the people who are going to be friends for your life. So cherish those memories because they are priceless. Things not to do: avoid gambling and debt at all cost. Don't copy the Kapoors, just let them be. You don't have to get every fancy gadget that comes in the market. You don't have to buy every cloth that belongs to Zara. Just think of your spending decisions a bit wisely. One of the main aspects in this age is the college that you go to. So try to make sure the degree that you're trying to get is going to give you good return after it's completed. It should not be like you're spending 50 lakhs on a degree that's only going to give you 10 lakh or 20 lakh in a year after your first job. So by the end of this particular age, let's just say you're 25, you should focus for this goal that your net worth should be at least positive. You should not have any debt. You should be free from any education loans. You should be free from any consumer debt. And you should strive to have a stable source of income. And you know your skill set that you're going to improve and hone over coming years. If you're 25 to 30, now this is an age where folks or a person usually understand what he is good at, what he is bad at. This is the age where a person starts earning some amount of money from his skills and he tries to polish that skill to become better at it. So if you're in this age, until you're single, try to save at least 50% of your income. Try to invest it. Don't upgrade your lifestyle as soon as you get the job. As soon as you start earning money, you don't have to be the kid with the most fancy car, the most fancy clothes, the most fancy watches. Just try to delay the gratification at this stage. It's really important. The first thing you should do is make sure you have 6 to 12 months of emergency fund at this stage. You don't want to be going back to your parents in case of an emergency. If you lose your job, if you need money to have some kind of purchase, or if you want to go on a trip, if you want to even plan out higher studies, you should have this emergency fund absolutely ready. It's the cushion on which you're going to build your empire. Start investing at least 80% of your savings. So let's just say if you're trying to save 50% of your income, let's just say you are earning 100 rupees a month. So you're saving 50. So try to invest at least 80%, which is 40 rupees in equities. And this is a time when you should start thinking about your goals in life, your big purchase ticket or big goals in life, like buying a car, buying a house. If you have to plan out higher studies, if you're getting married, is it going to take a good amount of your capital? Think about all of these things, because what happens is, if you don't plan these things, you eventually have to get them, and when you need the money, you'll not have the money, and you'll go to a bank to get the money, and then they'll put a burden of debt on your head. So if you're someone who is comfortable living with debt, paying interest at 15%, 14%, oh my god, this video is not for you. You can just dislike it and just chill. Nothing applies to you, whatever I'm talking about. But if you are someone who enjoys freedom, who wants to who wants to be not controlled by the circumstances around him, and who wants to have an ability to say fuck you to anyone and anytime they feel so, I'll recommend these steps. Things you should not do: getting addicted to gambling or habit or debt. I'll keep on coming back on debt again and again, because I've seen so many of my friends struggling because of it. It's not the financial struggle, it's a mental struggle that they live because of it. If you have a loan and if you have an unstable job, you're always panicked that how am I going to pay the EMI next month? So don't be in that position, guys. Don't copy the Kapoors. Absolutely wrong. It's not necessary. At this stage of your life, you'll also have friends, you'll also have people who are doing really good in life. Don't try to compare yourself with them. Try to avoid jealousy, try to avoid greed. Both of these feelings are really unhelpful. Try to build a positive mindset so that you can use them as inspiration rather than a source for jealousy and greed. So, by the age of 30, what should be your goal? What should you be aiming for? By this age, your net worth should at least be 1x, and at max be 3x of your annual income. If you're doing more than 3x, you're doing really good. You're doing amazing. Keep it up. Imagine if you're like have saved up 10x your annual income by the age of 30, I'll recommend you start spending some money, because you are in your 30s, you are in your prime age. Go out, travel, but 1 to 3x is a decent amount of net worth that you should be aiming by the time you're 30. What if you're already 30? You already are married, you already are planning to buy a house, you already are planning a kid. What to do then? Well, first thing first, have a 12-month emergency fund, because now you are at a stage where you have dependents on you, your parents who might be getting old, your kids who might start going to school in some years. So you have to start thinking about that, because if you don't have a job, how are you going to manage all of these things in case there is a surprise? Start your planning to invest for retirement. It's absolutely needed. Since you're almost approaching 40s, if this is not the time where you start thinking about investing for retirement, you're going to be a person who will be working really hard in their old age. So think about retirement at this age. It's really important. How are you going to plan it? How do you need to save it, invest, and get a corpus? At this age, you probably also want to buy a house, settle down, These are liabilities that you have to take anyway to provide good lifestyle to your family. Things not to do: make sure while purchasing a house, which is going to be one of the biggest debt you will take, your loan should always be 0.5x less than your all liquid assets. That includes stocks, mutual fund, and debt funds. Now, why 0.5x? How am I coming up with this magical number? Again, it's opinionated. This is a number with which I feel comfortable with. If there is any situation where the amount of liabilities I have is more than 0.56x my total net worth or my total liquid assets, then yeah, I'm shitting my pants. Don't copy the Kapoors. It's not worth it, guys. Maybe this is an age where you probably want to start thinking about big ticket purchase that don't put a burden on you. Since you're earning well, you have honed a skill, you probably are reaching executive or leadership position where you're earning good amount of money. So you don't want to be in a place where you take loans to buy things to impress people, or because some of your friends have already got the latest new car. Let's just say that, let's just call it a Porsche. And so you are also inclined to spend all of your net worth to get that Porsche. Bad decision, guys. Doesn't matter how much you love Porsche, how much we love Porsche, but it's a bad decision. Again, avoid jealousy and greed, not necessary at all. So, what should be your goal? In my opinion, as the time you are approaching your 40s, late 30s, you should at least, bare minimum, be having 3x of your total annual income as a net worth. It's bare minimum. You have to get it. And a good stage to be in at this point in time is going to be at 8x of your annual income. If you have more than 8x, you're easily on the right path to retire in your mid 40s or early 50s. And that's the time when you can take a step back in your day job, spend time with the family, travel around, pick up a hobby, and do the things that you maybe want to try out. That's it for today's episode, guys. If you like this video, please share, subscribe because it helps support the channel. Do leave out a comment telling me the recommendation on which you want to see more content on, and I'll see you guys around. Bye bye.